Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Electromagnetic field theory. And in the last lecture, we have studied the Servot law. And in this lecture, we will study few numerical example based on Bauer-Servot law. Okay. So before the numericals, some a few topic. Magnetic field intensity due to finite current carrying conductor. Okay. So let's suppose it's a conductor, finite conductor having a length from A to B, and it is placed at a distance of r1 from the origin. Okay. So and this P is point of observation. Okay. So consider a current carrying conductor lying along z-axis extending from A to B. Okay. Draw a perpendicular line between the axis of the conductor and the point of observation. So here is this is perpendicular line. Okay. So it means this is 90 degree. Okay. So now connect lower end of the conductor A to the point of observation. This is the lower end, and the line has been drawn from the lower end of the conductor to the point of observation. Okay. So this is a line. Okay. And consider angle alpha 1 in the clockwise direction. Here is the angle in the clockwise direction. Okay. Okay. And similarly connecting B, that is the upper end of the conductor, to point of observation and considering the angle alpha 2. Okay. So here is upper end point B, and connect it to the point of observation by this line. Okay. And the angle will be alpha 2 from here, point of the perpendicular line to this line. Okay. And here this is angle alpha 2. Now consider a very small segment of the conductor dl. This hole is L, so a small segment dl. Okay. Such that it is in the direction of the current. Okay. It's the direction of dl will be in the direction of current. Okay. Let the position vector of the dl be r1. This is the position vector r1 of this. Okay. Extending from here up to here, r1. Okay. So dl is equal to dz az, because it's in the direction of z, and r1 position vector is equal to z az. Okay. Now the distance between the differential source and the point of observation is given by the head to tail rule. Applying the head to tail rule. Okay. And we have drawn r as well. R is the distance from this differential length to the point of observation. So here is r. This is a perpendicular line. This is the line drawn from the lower end of the conductor to the point of observation. This is the line drawn from the upper end of the conductor to the point of observation, and this is the position vector from the differential length to the position vector. So these are the four lines. Okay. This perpendicular line is just to indicate the angles. Okay. We have to draw we have to compare the angle from we have to count the angle from the line to this perpendicular line. Okay, here upper end to the perpendicular line, lower end to the perpendicular line. Okay, so now from head to tail rule, r1 plus r is equal to, okay, this perpendicular line is actually in the direction of arrow, so we can call it as row arrow. Okay, so r1, here is r1 plus r is equal to row arrow. Okay, so now r is equal to row arrow minus r1, putting the values of r1 as well. R1 is equal to z az, so z az, this is the r. Now the magnitude of r is rho square plus z square whole square root, taking this square and at the end square root. Okay, differential magnetic field intensity dh is equal to, according to the Biot-Savart law, dh is equal to I dl cross r. Here, this is actually the cross product. Okay, not the simple multiplication. dl is a vector, r is a vector, so the multiplication of two vector. Okay, so it's a cross product divided by 4 pi r cube, putting the values of r and r magnitude. Here is r and here is r magnitude. So dh is equal to I dl into r. Here is r, this is the r vector, this is the r magnitude. Okay, so the r vector is here and the r magnitude is here. This is the r magnitude. So r cube and here is 1 over 2, so it makes 3 by 2. Now by the cross multiplication az cross arrow, okay, it will be a phi. This is the cylindrical coordinate system, and az cross az, which is equal to 0. So by multiplying this term with this, we will get 0. Okay, so now dh, this the magnetic field intensity due to the differential length is dh is equal to I rho dz a phi. A phi is in the is because of the result of the multiplication of az into arrow, so it makes a phi. A phi divided by 4 pi rho square plus z square whole 3 by 2. This is actually the magnetic field intensity due to the differential length. Now considering the whole length from extending from a to b, so it will be h. Now h is equal to I rho 4 pi, these are the constant. So keeping it outside the integration, so a to integration from a to b dz a phi over this. Okay, so now if you want to convert it into the spherical coordinate system, so because now the angles are the lengths are not given, so uh, considering the right angle triangle, here is a right angle triangle, I will show you in the figure. So we will take the help of this right angle triangle. Here is a right angle triangle, this whole. Okay, this is actually the 90-degree. It seems that it is not the right angle triangle, but it is actually a right angle triangle because this is a perpendicular line. Okay, so due because it is 2D, so uh, that is why it is confusing, but otherwise anyhow it is a 90-degree. So from the triangle, right angle triangle OPS, tangent theta is equal to perpendicular over base. So the perpendicular line is this, okay, and the base is this. So z over rho. So z is equal to rho tangent theta. So we have to replace the z because these are the limits of the z. So we have to replace z by some trigonometric function theta, that is spherical coordinate system. Okay, so dz will be, if z is this, so by integration with respect to d theta, so dz by d theta is equal to rho and secant square theta. So shifting d theta to this side, so we will get dz is equal to this. Now for the limits, okay, this is just to replace dz by this whole thing. Now these are the limits of dz, so we have to transform it to phi to theta as well. Okay, so z extending from a to b, so corresponds to theta extending from alpha 1 to alpha 2. Okay, because a is the angle, alpha 1 is the angle between the lower end of the conductor with the perpendicular line, and alpha 2 is the angle drawn between the line drawn from the upper end of the conductor to the with the perpendicular line, as I have shown you in the figure. So that is why if z approaches from a to b, so the angle alpha 1 will be approaching to alpha 2. So replacing it by alpha 1 to alpha 2, okay, and dz is this, okay, and z is this. So everything is ready, just to substitute it. Z will be replaced over here and dz will be replaced over here. So this is the z, this dz, this is the z. Okay, so taking our row square as common, so we will get this. Okay, secant square will be cancelled with this. Okay, so we left with 1 over secant. 1 over secant is equal to cos, and integration of cos is sine. So now h is equal to I over 4 pi rho sine theta. The limits are alpha 2, alpha 1. So putting the limits, sine alpha 2 minus sine alpha 1. Okay, and in the direction of a pi, here a pi. So that is the magnetic field intensity due to finite conductor. Okay, so now the example, find the magnetic field intensity at a point P, which is at 0 0.4, 0 0.3, 0 in the field of an 8 ampere current directed inwards from 0.4 to the origin, okay, on the positive x-axis, and then outward to the infinity along the y-axis. Okay, so actually the direction is here. This is the origin, this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis. Okay, and the point of observation is here, point 0.4 from the x, point 0.3 from the y, point 0.4 from the x, point 0.3 from the y, and the z is equal to 0. So this is the point of observation, and the current direction is from the point 0.4 to the origin. First we have point 0.4 to origin, and then it is diverted along the y-axis, the right side, and up till the infinity. Okay, so now we have two portions. First one is this, and second portion is this. So we will apply the magnetic field intensity for these two separate conductors. We will assume that these two are the separate conductors, okay, the current carrying conductors. So now the target is to find the H at a point this, okay. So now alpha 2 is, we have to find the alpha 2 and alpha 1 for this conductor. So alpha, this is the conductor, okay, this is the point of observation. So draw a perpendicular line, okay, from the lower end and from the upper end. This is the upper end, okay. So as we know that angle between the lower end and the point of observation, so this will be actually how much, 90 degree. And the angle between the upper end for B, actually this is actually the alpha 2, okay. So now this is a right angle triangle, so this is point 4 x-axis value, and this is the y-axis value, 0.3. So tangent is perpendicular over base. So perpendicular is this and base is this. So 0.5 over 0.3 tangent inverse, okay. Tangent is this, so tangent inverse will be this, okay. So now alpha 2 will equal to 53.1 degree, and alpha 1 is along the anti-clockwise direction, so it will be minus 90 degree, okay, minus 90 degree along this, okay. Now there is missing, okay. So now then the we will find the H for this conductor, okay. So according to the Biot Savart law, uh, H will be equal to I divided by 4 pi rho sine of alpha 2 minus sine of alpha 1, okay. This formula we have already derived it. So just putting the values, the I is given, that is 8 ampere, so 8 over 4 pi, okay. Now the rho, okay, so rho is 0.3, so 0.3, and this sine of alpha 1 alpha 2 minus sine of so what is alpha 2, 53.1 degree, so sine of 53.1 degree minus sine of minus 90 degree, okay. So sine of minus 90 degree will be equal to minus sine 90 degree, so this minus uh, will be sine minus to minus plus, okay. So we will left we will get H is equal to 12 over pi a phi, okay. So we will call it as hx, because that is because of the current flowing in the x-axis direction. Now in the second portion, when we will find the h, so we will call it hy, then we will add these two because we are demanding the net h. So h will be equal to hx plus hy. So in the second portion of the lecture, we will find the hy and then we will add these two. Okay. So um, that is the end of the first portion of the lecture. Thank you.